Welcome. This video will provide a brief overview of CRTO's standing committees. Consistent with their mandate to protect and serve the public interest, each regulated health profession must maintain an appropriate high standard for admission to the profession and ensure members maintain both competency and currency. As a self-regulating body, CRTO must be able to monitor that these standards are maintained and provide corrective action when necessary. The procedural code of the RHPA dictates that all colleges must have the following: an executive committee, registration committee, inquiries, complaints, and reports committee, discipline committee, fitness to practice committee, quality assurance committee, and a patient relations committee. These are the statutory committees. A staff member is assigned to support the work of each committee. But more importantly, they will provide knowledge continuity for the committee. The basic structure of each committee is set out in the bylaws. For our purposes, it's enough to say that each committee will consist of a mix of professional members, both council and non-council, and public members of council. I've heard it said that the devil is in the details, and the Regulated Health Professions Act and Procedural Code contain a lot of detail. Council, through the Executive Committee, determines the chair and composition of each committee. As well, the Executive Committee monitors the effectiveness of Council and the committees and conducts an annual review of the registrar. And the Executive Committee can make decisions on behalf of Council in the very rare instance that the full Council can't meet quickly enough. When a person applies for registration to the profession, the registrar will either register the applicant, or, if they have concerns that the applicant does not fully meet the registration requirements, refer the application to the registration committee. A panel, which is a subgroup of the registration committee, will consider the application and make an order directing the registrar to issue the certificate, or have the applicant complete additional examination or training before issuing the certificate, or add specified terms, conditions, and limitations to the certificate. And of course, the panel can direct the registrar to refuse to issue the certificate of registration. In addition, other responsibilities include creating and reviewing registration policies and making recommendations to Council regarding entry to practice standards. The Inquiries, Complaints, and Reports Committee screens complaints and reports made to the college regarding a member. Reports come from employers regarding all disciplinary action taken against an RT, and members are required to self-report criminal charges. Patients, family members, or others may express concerns or make formal complaints regarding their interactions with RTs. Staff does the initial fact-finding and passes the information to ICRC. ICRC then forms a panel, which is a subgroup of the ICRC, to review the concerns. They can instruct the registrar to appoint an investigator to obtain more information. Then, depending on the facts in the case, the panel may recommend specified continuing education or remedial program, which is known as SCRP, or they may issue a verbal or written caution. If the panel is concerned that the member may have committed an act of professional misconduct, the panel will refer to the Discipline Committee. If the panel has reasonable grounds to believe the member is incapacitated, they'll refer the member to a new ICRC panel to conduct an inquiry into the member's health, which may include asking the member to submit to a physical or mental examination by a health professional. This examination could result in a referral to the Fitness to Practice Committee. Of course, the panel might dismiss the case and take no action at all, and other outcomes are possible. When ICRC refers a member to the Discipline Committee, a tribunal is formed to hold hearings into the allegations. A discipline hearing is one of the most formal processes that the CRTO undertakes. It's like a trial, and it will involve lawyers. But while it's like a trial, a discipline hearing is neither a criminal nor a civil proceeding. If a panel, on hearing the evidence, finds a member has committed an act of professional misconduct, It may direct the registrar to revoke or suspend the member's certificate of registration or impose specific terms, conditions, and limitations on the certificate. They could require the member to appear before the panel for a formal reprimand, and they could even require the member to pay a fine to the Minister of Finance. In cases involving sexual abuse of a patient, the panel may require the member to reimburse the college for any funding for counseling that was provided through the Patient Relations Program. Additionally, the panel can require the member to pay all or part of the college's costs associated with the hearing. Fitness to practice respiratory therapy includes, but is not limited to, having consistent ability to meet the physical demands of the profession, to think critically, make appropriate judgments, sustain focus and concentration, communicate effectively, and to learn and recall complex concepts and skills. The Fitness to Practice Committee, on receiving a referral from ICRC, will form a panel to hold a hearing. If the panel finds the member is incompetent, it can direct the registrar to revoke or suspend the member's certificate of registration or impose specific terms, conditions, and limitations on the member's certificate. In accordance with RHPA, the college is required to regulate a quality assurance program. Now, if you're a member, you're very familiar with this program, but here's a high-level overview. All new members must complete a jurisprudence assessment to demonstrate their knowledge and understanding of the laws, regulations, bylaws, standards, and guidelines that govern the profession. Each year, all members, active and inactive, must take an e-learning module that covers information about recently changed practice standards, regulation changes, new or revised professional practice guidelines, that sort of thing, and self-assess their understanding. Maintaining professional competency requires routine self-assessment to identify areas for growth and opportunities for continuing education. Members track their reflections and professional development in an online portfolio. In the members' review year, a trained peer assessor will review the portfolio. Members who fail to satisfactorily complete the requirements of the Quality Assurance Program are referred to the Quality Assurance Committee. The committee can require the member to participate in specified continuing education or remedial programs, SCRP, or direct the registrar to impose terms, conditions, and limitations on the member's certificate. If QAC is concerned that the member lacks competency, they can refer the matter to the ICRC. The college is also required to have a patient relations program. The primary purpose is to provide measures for preventing and dealing with the sexual abuse of patients. This could include educational requirements for members, training for the college's staff, council, and committees, and information made available to the public. A key element of the patient relations program is the establishment of a process to provide funding for therapy and counseling for persons who have alleged sexual abuse by a member. The Patient Relations Committee oversees all aspects of the patient relations program. So that covers the committees that are required by law. But council can create other committees to meet their needs. And committees can be either standing or ad hoc. An ad hoc committee is formed to address a specific short-term issue, and once the issue is resolved, the committee is dissolved. Just so you know, the terms ad hoc committee and task force are often used interchangeably. In addition to the standing committees previously discussed, Council has created a Finance and Audit Committee. Specifically, this committee is charged with monitoring and communicating about CRTO's financial health. They are responsible for the appointment, compensation, and oversight of the work of the auditor, and this committee takes a lead role in monitoring internal controls and financial procedures. As a self-regulating profession, RTs, with some public insight, monitor their own members. As a result, committee members may be called on to make decisions that will have a profound impact on their peers. As a committee member, you need to respect confidentiality, and clearly understand conflict of interest. Take time to read the bylaws and your committee's terms of reference. Ask questions. Be deeply involved. With any new role, there is a lot to learn. You bring good intentions, experience, and professionalism to the task. Serving on committees is a great opportunity to do your part in helping protect the public interest, to learn more about and to strengthen the profession, and of course, add to your own resume. Well, that's it. I hope you found this information helpful. Bye for now.